is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolved video. So last time we were talking about the different LCQs that happened that past weekend, and now we're on the LCQs that happened, our last past weekend, and that was Houston, Australia, and London. So at our Sunday locals, we started to get to chatting about what decks topped on Saturday, because I personally didn't know when the event was. I thought it was on like a Sunday or something, and guys, come out to our locals. We can get here and start chatting about Shadowverse and whatnot. But we were talking, and they had told me that Forcecraft had already won on Saturday, and I didn't know the results. So I'm now looking at the results, and I feel like we have a lot to talk about Forcecraft. It is definitely coming into light. It is no longer the middle child. It cannot be ignored. It is probably like the topping deck right now. Pretty good consistency. I haven't played Forcecraft since like set 1. I mean, I played a little bit of set 2 with some of the new stuff, but I just couldn't rock it the way I wanted to, and there was just so much to do about it. But now with Umacraft, it feels like Forcecraft is just in such a huge light, and it's just so strong, and it's been topping the last couple of LCQs. So let's go ahead and get into the deck list, and let's figure out what's going on. All right, let's go ahead and get into the first deck. So shout out to Tuan for winning with Forcecraft. Shout out. Good luck at Worlds, and I hope you do well. But Forcecraft definitely has the staples that it needs. It has lots of this stuff. So it has the Crystallitia with the Marvelous Sunday, and they also have this awesome spell card that I've never seen. The Systematic Squat. So it comes into play, draw a card, but when it leaves the field, you select an Uma follower on your field and you give it +1/+1. That's not bad for a 2-drop spell. I can say that's definitely better than Titiana Sanctuary. It follows with the Pixie line, so of course an amulet like that will definitely be good too. Is it better than Harvest Festival in generating value? It's honestly the same. It just costs more, but it has the different side of effects. So really, I feel like what the game plan with Forcecraft is, you're applying them with these middle game things like, well, I wouldn't say middle game, but early game things like Elfchild May, and the, the Shinko Windy with the Nature's Guidance Harvest Festival plays while you're bouncing, while, being on the defense with Ancient Elf. And then, you have the removal in the deck now, because that's what the deck was really lacking, was, good removal, because that's why people used Archer and whatnot. We have Crystallia Lily for removal, and we have Silent Suzuka for removal. And then we have the 3-drop, Rose Gardener and Uma that's also removal. So there's tons of removal. So it looks like Forcecraft is becoming a little bit of Havencraft, but Forcecraft can provide more pressure because of Silent Suzuka. And also a new card that I'm seeing that I don't really see in many Forcecraft decks is probably this Smart Falcon. I've never seen it before. I think I have this card somewhere, but I never looked at its ability because, I'm not a huge Forcecraft advocate. But, I would still try and attempt to play so I can learn the play style. So when it comes to the play, you return any number of other Uma cards on the field to their owner's hands, and then you deal X damage to each enemy follower on the field. X equals 2 times the number of cards. So the fact that this is honestly like, a board effect, this is pretty strong against Sword. I would say I would definitely include this, because the one thing I struggle with personally is the Floral Fencer play. That is the one thing I struggle against Forcecraft. They can Alexander me all day. They can, Leonidas me every day of the week. But that Floral Fencer play is like absolutely amazing. Like it's just too strong. It's too much damage to be put on the field like so early, because it's as early as turn 3, and then Swordcraft can do the Novice Trooper after that. So many things they can do to like respond to what you want to do. And those first couple turns are just like setting up their cards and whatnot, and getting the cards that they need in hand to apply that pressure. It's just that Floor Fencer play for me. It's just too hard. But in Forcecraft, you can do the Floor Fencer. Well, all right, it's going to the bottom of the deck. And then, I'll definitely take 3. That's not bad, because you're going to swing at me for 3 anyways. Or if I have a response after my Ancient Elf on the field, then, I'm swinging 5 at you, and then, you're going to have to deal with that. So what I'm getting at is that Forcecraft is definitely performing, and it's outperforming Sword and Dragon, it seems. And, like, it's really, I would say matchup dependent, because, like, Forcecraft struggles against Dragoncraft, because, the 4-day play. Those are like Swordcraft and Dragoncraft are the decks to really watch out for. Now, don't sleep on any of the other ones, because the other ones can definitely like sweep you under your feet. I'm not discrediting any of the other deck. It's just the power scaling of those two decks are probably, you know, what's in right now, what's like topping meta. But Forcecraft seems to just be taking the cake. And I'm 100% okay with that, because Forcecraft it's done being the middle child. It's finally time to shine. And then in set 3, you know, we'll have those new decks, and it feels like Forcecraft is going to get even stronger. But again, back to the deck list. Shout out to Juan for getting first place. Don't really see anything different besides the Amulet card and the Smart Falcon. Let's peek at this Evo deck. And shout out for, you know, the special version of Crystalia Tia. Personally, in my opinion, I have never really, you know, played Crystalia Tia in my build because I have a, you know, really bad Pixie spam build. But if I were to play competitive, I would definitely, you know, not copy and paste this build, but this is honestly like staple strong. So shout out to Juan for first place and good luck at Worlds. Moving on, we are going to the second place, going to Shiny Cardboard's Forestcraft deck. So yet again, Forestcraft taking another place in, you know, Top Cut. That's awesome. I'm just loving the fact that Forest is done being everybody's bottom bitch. You know, everyone was sleeping on Forestcraft. The last podcast, if you haven't seen it, I'll, you know, put a link right here. You know, we were talking about Forestcraft being strong at set 2. Don't sleep on Forestcraft in set 2. But realistically, don't sleep on Forestcraft and Uma, because now, you know, they don't have big boss monsters. That's fine. I will take a 4-drop Silent Tezuka that removes anything off the field. That's fine. Any day out of the week over an 8-drop that, you know, can do something funny. Like Gold Chip. Gold Chip. I would definitely take Silent Tezuka over Gold Chip. And yes, I am using a meme card as an example. I'm sorry, guys. But, you know, like, cards like that. Silent Tezuka definitely pairs up the deck well. It's a Storm follower that also has removal. And, you know, just for the fact that you can just burn them for the rest of their life for Silverbolt seems absolutely amazing. You know, you set those turns up. But the key differences I'm seeing from first place and second place list is the Surefire Bullets. That's a nice combination. And then we have the Elven Princess Mage. So if anyone who doesn't know what this card is, you know, go ahead and educate yourselves, because this probably might be one of those cards that, like, you're playing this card? Why? Well, you know, for 3, she doesn't really do anything. But when you evolve her, she becomes a 4/4, and she spawns 2 Pixie tokens that are free. So, you know, not only are the stats on Elven Princess Mage nice on Evo, you can definitely swing into something and just get rid of it. So you can match something's vibe, you know, on the type of, you know, the attack and defense. It's pretty nice. And then you get those Pixie tokens. So shout out Shiny Cardboard for getting second place, and I hope you do well at Worlds. Alrighty, and look at that. We've got third place going to Dan Ranch's Dragoncraft deck. And every time I see either Dragoncraft or Swordcraft in Top Cut, I am honestly not surprised. They have like very strong cards. Set 2 gave them a really big boost. And if anything, Uma just gave it another boss monster or two to like really set the deck forward. But looking at this deck now, you know, I've seen the other topping list. I'm over here sitting like, what the hell is this card? I've never seen this card. And this card is Dance of Death. So you select the enemy fall on the field and deal 5 damage to it and 2 damage to its leader. Pretty good combination, along with Dragon Song Flute. You know, you pitch a card, that being, you know, Trail of Light or something for the turn, and then you Dance of Death. That's 4 damage to the face, and then you possibly remove the follower. Because, you know, Conflag does 5 to everything. So why not, you know, if there's just one follower in the field, I can do an extra 2 to you, and then, you know, remove your follower. It's pretty good, you know, aggro card. I like it. I say aggro card, but it's like, it costs 4, so it's really not aggro. But it's good burn. It's very good burn. So I like that Dan Ranch. That's a pretty, some spice. I like it when people spice up regular decks and not just copy and paste them. You know, you put your own little flair in it. That's what I love about the card games, guys. So, you know, nothing really too different about, you know, Dan Ranch's third place list. Let's go ahead and peek at this Evo deck. Shout out for having the alt art Forte. I know that was some money. So shout out Dan Ranch for getting third place. And I think third place goes to Worlds too. I'm pretty sure top 3 goes to Worlds. So good luck at Worlds, and, you know, I pray that you do well. All right, moving forward, we have Tristan B's 4th place Uma deck. So one thing I can say about Uma is that it came out swinging. It's a very strong deck. It has lots of tools from different classes, since you can run every class in Uma. So a couple of different things that I see about Tristan B's list is I see that the mid game, you know, have that Narita top road for the draw 2 effect. It's pretty nice. But one thing I do see that's very different is the will to overtake, and not many people run this card. It's really, you know, a mighty control card that many people would call it. When you play it, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put any number of them on the top and the bottom of your choice. Make sure you choose what you want on the top of your deck first before you choose what's on the bottom, because that comes afterwards. And then, you know, on the next turn, if you play it on turn 1 or, you know, in later turns, you can spend 2 to engage it and draw a card. So, you know, you look at what's in your deck, you have deck knowledge. Most people really use Shinka Windy. It's a 1-drop from Forestcraft that, you know, it's just a body. It's a 1-drop that kind of does the same thing. It doesn't look as deep, you know, as top 3. But it looks at the top. If it's something good, you keep it there. If it's not, you know, put it to the bottom. And then you have a 1-drop 2/1, you know, that will just be there so you can potentially attack with next turn. And, you know, if you're running the Forestcraft line with, you know, a Shinka Windy being a 1-drop as it is, you know, you can swing with it and then bounce it back into your hand and you can do it all over again. So that's what's really nice about Shinka Windy in comparison to, you know, the Will to Overtake. But the Will to Overtake, you know, looks deeper and it's still nice. All right. Congratulations to Tristan B for doing so well and to getting into 4th place with your Uma deck. Looking at the Evo deck here, nothing too special, just 3 of Agnes. You know, congrats on you to getting yours, because I'm still trying to get mine and it's been very tough. So shout out for that and good luck, Tristan B, on your next, you know, regional endeavor. Alright guys, well that is the end of the video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, I wanted to say, please come to our Sunday locals. We're hosting them every Sunday. I know right now it's like LCQ season and everyone's, you know, getting ready for these regional tournaments. But, you know, afterwards, if you want to wind down and play your crazy decks, come to our locals on Sundays. We have webplay locals. We start at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come check it out. Alright guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye.
I gave you all my love, baby, my heart is cold when you're around. You warm it up, liquid gold, baby, yeah, you warm it up, liquid gold, baby, and my affection, all that paper you wasted. Take my love.